In the doghouse. Interior lounge, day. Wearing animal print, Doreen is sitting on the sofa reading a newspaper. She gets more and more worked up as she reads an article. Dom enters with a book and sits beside her.
What is it?
All these campaigns. All the warnings about leaving dogs in cars on scorching hot days. This woman, she's no better than a vivixionist. 3 Cocker Spaniels burned to a crisp. Some people are brainless.
You won't allow me to forget about Max, will you, eh?
Of course not. Because you left him in the back of the car to get toasted, roasted.
It was a tragic accident, Doreen. I was young and stupid back then.
Now you're just stupid. Max has gone. And why? Because of a trip to the bookies and your bloody horse didn't even win.
How many times, Doreen, you know I get delayed by a neighbour?
Not just any old neighbor. Rob Little. You got it into your sick head that I was having a fling with Rob Little. Just because we walked our dogs together on the common. He had a lovely sausage dog called Mary.
I know I was wrong about Rob Little. In those days, I was crazy, possessive.
Rob was a brilliant conversationalist. I loved talking to him. Isn't a crime, is it? Talking. When you did what you did is a crime. Though destroying my Maxie.
Look, I'm really sorry about Max. But it's agony for me, carrying the guilt.
Sorry means nothing. Because while you were grilling Rob Little about our non-existent affair, my Max was getting grilled, literally. Poor sod.
I notice you always call him your Max. Well, I own Max too, you know. Just how do you think I felt when I got back to the car and I found his crumpled little body on that tartan blanket he always drooled on? It was like something out of a horror film. I have to live with that grotesque image branded on my brain.
Dom, I don't want to hear the gory details.
It was a quick exit, Doreen. I assure you, Max did not suffer.
If he'd lived, my darling would have been 21 tomorrow. You put a stop to that, no.
All those years ago, I made a fatal mistake and you're never going to let me off the hook, are you? Resurrecting that evening, morning, noon and night.
If only you had taken him with you!
I've told you, he looked so peaceful asleep on the back seat. I didn't have the heart to disturb him.
Nursing a cold, 20-year-old Zeb enters wearing a bathrobe and carrying a box of tissues. Zeb plunges down on the sofa between Dom and Doreen. Doreen momentarily brightens up at the sight of Zeb. Balancing the tissues on his lap, Zeb puts one arm around Doreen, the other around Dom. I could hear you guys in the shower. Thought you might need a referee.
You should be used to us by now, Zeb.
Zeb nods knowingly and dabs his nose with the tissue. A preoccupied Doreen rocks backwards and forwards.
I often wonder how my Max would have turned out. He was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Doreen struggles to hold back the tears. Zeb rubs her back to comfort her.
You know exactly how our Max would have turned out. Like him.
A few moments, Doreen composes herself.
Thank God we had twins, Dom. At least we were able to hang on to one of our beautiful sons. I'm that grateful for that.
Zeb was the lucky baby, safe with you in the conservatory that terrible day in June, Derby Day.
Tom ruffles Zeb's hair. Freaks me out to think I could have been curled up on the back seat with Max. Doreen squeezes Zeb's hand lovingly.
It doesn't bear thinking about, Zeb.
Dad, why did you take my brother out for a drive that day and not me? Zeb blows his nose.
You had a cold, I'm glad to say.